Ever wondered about the dark side of ancient Egypt? In this video, we'll uncover 15 eerie things that were once considered totally normal. From strange burial customs to unsettling beauty rituals, join us on a journey into the mysterious and creepy world of ancient Egypt. Number 15. The ancient Egyptian quest for immortality. Through gold, people have been preoccupied with the idea of living forever throughout history. The people of ancient Egypt were the same. They consumed gold in a variety of ways because they believed it could make them immortal. They had a wide variety of medications and were quite knowledgeable about the human body. They thought gold had the power to heal the body and the psyche. They frequently used gold in remedies and drank it mixed with wine or water. Even their oldest medical text mentioned the abilities of gold. Even the monarchs believed that consuming gold would transform them into gods and grant them infinity. It wasn't simply common people who did this. Because gold doesn't react with our bodies, we now know that it is safe to eat. Surprisingly, modern science has discovered several medical applications for gold, including the treatment of specific cancers. Eating gold may seem weird to modern ears, but it demonstrates the ancient Egyptians' intense desire to outlive the grave. With its shine and durability, gold provided them with a means of coping with life's riddles and the afterlife. Number 14. The allure of death. Necromancy in ancient Egypt. Death wasn't the end in ancient Egypt. Rather, it was the beginning of another life. They practiced necromancy, which they defined as communicating with the dead. They believed that the spirits of the dead could provide guidance, make future predictions, or assist with specific favors. They spoke with these spirits using little statues known as ushabti. Necromancy was more than just ghostly things. They would ask their ancestors for assistance during difficult times. Politics might be influenced by the words of a dead pharaoh, and they regarded his counsel seriously. In significant rites like the opening of the mouth ceremony, which brought the dead to life in the afterlife, they also employed necromancy. Although communicating with the dead may sound eerie to us, it was a common practice among the Egyptians. They revered their past and remained linked to it while looking for knowledge and eternal life. Their distinctive perspective on death and the afterlife offers us an intriguing, if unsettling, window into a culture that has left a long-lasting impression. Number 13. Magic and spells in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, they had something called hika, which was like magic. It was everywhere in their lives, not some weird thing on the side. They thought of it as a natural power in the world, not something strange. People used heka for everyday stuff like chores, staying safe, getting better when they were sick, and finding love. They believed it connected them to their gods. People had books full of heka spells at home. These spells did real things, not just something in their heads. They could write them down, say them out loud, or put them in little charms they wore. Heka wasn't just for the living. It was also important when someone passed away. They used spells to help the person go through the afterlife safely. To us, using so much magic might seem strange, but for the Egyptians, it was all about taking charge of their lives. They saw heka as a tool to have power and stay safe in a world full of surprises. It was like their way of saying, "I'm in control and I can handle whatever comes my way." Number 12. The Curse of the Pharaohs. The Curse of the Pharaohs, popularized in movies and books, originates from the ancient Egyptians themselves, who believed in protective curses and vengeful tomb guardians. They regarded pharaohs as intermediaries between gods and humans, making their burials exceptionally significant. The tombs, especially those in the Valley of the Kings, held treasures with deep spiritual meaning, considered vital for the pharaoh's journey to eternal life. To safeguard these tombs, curses were inscribed on entrances or amulets, threatening dire consequences like sickness or death to tomb raiders. While there's no scientific evidence for their efficacy, these curses gained a reputation for bad luck. Despite this, the enduring fascination with the curse of the pharaohs underscores the Egyptians' deep respect for the peace of their kings in the afterlife and their determination to protect it. Number 11. Animals in ancient Egypt. Sacred and cursed. In ancient Egypt, animals had a dual role. They were often seen as sacred beings and even had their own gods, like Bastet, the cat goddess, and Horus, the falcon god. People believed these gods embodied the traits of the animals they represented and offered them food and sacrifices. But not all animals were considered good. Some, like the serpent Apep, symbolized chaos and were enemies of the gods, especially Ra, the sun god. Animals could also be used in curses and their body parts in magical spells. This mix of sacred and cursed animals reveals the intricate and fascinating beliefs of ancient Egypt. They viewed the natural world as both divine and dangerous, where animals played a complex role, sometimes revered, sometimes feared. Before we dive deeper into the video, take a moment and simply click on that subscribe button, and we'll unveil the fascinating secrets of the past together. Number 10. Servant sacrifice in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, one of the darker practices was servant sacrifice, where servants were buried with pharaohs to serve them in the afterlife. This happened a lot in the First Dynasty, when they thought death was just another part of life. The servants met various fates, from poison to harsher methods like strangulation or beheading. They tried not to mess up the bodies, as they believed it was crucial for the person to be resurrected in the afterlife. Thankfully, this practice eventually stopped. They switched to using shabti, little clay figures with magical spells, to do the deceased's work in the afterlife. This shift shows how the culture and ethics of ancient Egypt evolved. Even though it's gone, servant sacrifice reminds us of how powerful the pharaohs were and how deep their beliefs went. It might shock us today, but it's a glimpse into a very different time, and understanding their culture can teach us a lot. Number 9. The ritualistic consumption of the blood of the gods in ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians had a unique belief that the gods were present in everything, even beer. They called red beer the blood of the gods and used it in religious ceremonies. One special celebration was the Festival of Drunkenness, dedicated to the goddess Sekhmet. She was a fierce warrior, but the myth goes that she got so drunk on red beer that she stopped being destructive. During the festival, people would drink this red beer until they got pretty tipsy, reenacting the myth and celebrating victory over destruction. They believed that sipping the blood of the gods brought them closer to divine protection. Even though it might seem strange to us today, it's crucial to remember that the ancient Egyptians had a very different way of seeing the world. They thought the gods were actively involved in human life, and rituals like the Festival of Drunkenness were their way of getting on the gods' good side. Number 8. The concept of Maat. Ancient Egypt revered Maat, representing truth, balance, order, and justice, as the fundamental pillar of their universe, symbolized by a feather atop her head. Central to their beliefs was the weighing of the heart ceremony, which determined one's destiny in the afterlife by comparing the heart's weight to Maat's feather. A light heart promised eternal bliss in the idyllic field of reeds, while a heavy one meant the dreaded fate of being devoured by the fearsome Ammit. This profound belief system deeply instilled moral behavior, as Egyptians understood that their actions resonated cosmically, rendering life's brevity and significance ever present beneath Maat's vigilant gaze. Number 7. Dental implants in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptians were surprisingly advanced in taking care of their teeth due to their tough diet. They used dental implants, often creatively sourcing teeth from the deceased or animals to replace missing ones, a practice that extended to nobles and pharaohs. The process, involving shaping teeth and implanting them into gums, sometimes with gold embellishments or adapting animal teeth to fit human mouths, showcases their medical prowess. This practical approach to healthcare, despite its unusual nature, reflects their intricate perspective on the connection between life and death. Number 6. Pregnancy and birth customs in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, pregnancy and childbirth were profoundly meaningful, wrapped in intriguing customs and beliefs aimed at protecting both mother and child. They used amulets adorned with Taweret, a goddess in the form of a hippopotamus, to ward off evil spirits and ensure a safe birth. They had a unique way of guessing a baby's gender by checking if wheat or barley grains sprouted in the mother's urine, wheat for girls, barley for boys. During delivery, mothers squatted, while skilled midwives used flint knives to cut the umbilical cord, believed to be more hygienic than metal tools. The placenta was also treated with respect, either buried in a special place or preserved. These practices may seem strange today, but they highlight the Egyptians' deep respect for the miracle of life and their dedication to keeping it safe. Number 5. The use of human fat in rituals in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, people believed that human fat had magical powers. They used it in various ways, like medicine, charms, and even in warfare. In their old medical book called the Ebers Papyrus, they wrote about using human fat to treat wounds, skin problems, and hair loss. They thought that the fat made these treatments work better because it had special magic. People also put human fat into protective charms. These charms were like lucky jewelry that kept them safe from bad things and brought them good luck. Imagine wearing a necklace with a little human fat in it. Here's the really interesting part. They believed that fat from people who died in a violent or unusual way was super powerful. So, soldiers would take fat from their defeated enemies and use it to make amulets to protect themselves. It was like capturing the strength and bravery of their foes. Number 4. Cannibalistic pharaohs. Ancient Egypt raises a chilling historical question. Did some pharaohs practice cannibalism? While this theory sparks heated debates among historians and Egyptologists, ancient texts provide eerie hints of such a practice. The most notorious evidence emerges from the cannibal hymn, discovered in the pyramid texts of Pharaoh Unas, the final ruler of the 5th dynasty. This hymn vividly describes the pharaoh consuming the bodies and souls of enemies to absorb their power and maintain divine status. Despite symbolic interpretations by many scholars, the graphic descriptions and explicit language challenge dismissal. If the cannibal hymn indeed reflects actual ritual cannibalism, it would have been an exceedingly secretive and ceremonial act. Number 3. Dream interpretation in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptians really believed in dreams. They thought dreams were messages from the gods. People who could understand dreams were important in their society. They believed dreams could show the future or help with problems. Priests and seers were experts in understanding dreams, and they could explain what dreams meant. One famous story is about Pharaoh Thutmose IV. He had a dream about the Sphinx, a big statue. The dream said he would become a king if he cleared the sand around the Sphinx. They believed this dream was a message from the gods, and they wrote it down on a special stone called the Dream Stela. Even regular people used dream books to understand their dreams better. These books told them what different things in dreams meant, like animals or everyday activities. The Egyptians' belief in dreams adds an interesting and a bit strange part to their history, where dreams could change their lives and even their history. Number 2. The afterlife and the weighing of the heart. Ancient Egyptians believed that after death they faced a special test called the weighing of the heart. In this test, their heart was weighed against a feather representing truth. If their heart was lighter, meaning they had been good in life, they could go to a happy place in the afterlife. But if their heart was heavy with wrongdoing, a scary creature called a meat would eat it, and they wouldn't have eternal life. This belief was taken seriously, so they did careful burial rituals and put special heart-shaped amulets with protective spells on the deceased heart to make sure it didn't speak against them during the judgment. This idea tied their actions in life to what happened to them after death, making them really focused on doing what was right throughout their lives. Number 1. The cult of the dead in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptians believed that death was the start of an eternal journey, not the end. This belief led to the cult of the dead, a set of practices to stay connected with and help the deceased in the afterlife. The most visible part was mummification, preserving the body for the soul's reunion. They also buried the dead with necessities, offered sacrifices, and placed Ushabti figurines in tombs to assist the departed. Families visited tombs, bringing offerings and seeking blessings, sometimes writing letters for guidance. This cult was crucial in ensuring a successful afterlife and maintaining a bond with the departed in ancient Egyptian culture. We're wrapping up for today, but don't miss out on our other intriguing videos. If you're hungry for more hidden secrets from history, just click that subscribe button. Join us at the Ancient History channel, and we'll keep you updated with the latest and most astonishing discoveries.